so much fallen down trees and I guess you could say huge open fields for some odd reason. Way too windy, I guess. Lots of different variety of news today that I read. I guess the first one talked about things like tracking drones and stuff around places, for example, such as airport. What is the best way to do it? A lot of talk about remote ID and stuff like that and solutions. It's kind of interesting reading this. It says the best drone radar is DJI Aeroscope. Elite Consulting explains why. This almost reads like an advertisement. It says Elite Consulting has collaborated with many European airports to install Aeroscope, the DJI system for identifying and monitoring drones in the airspace. As the popularity of consumer drone rises, there has been a lot of parallel increase in challenges to guarantee safety in high-risk areas such as airports, prisons, energy plants, and close military areas. Traditional protection systems are no longer sufficient to identify and monitor UAVs and possible incidents. So in a nutshell, they basically say that is the best solution for identifying drones and stuff is that Aeroscope. Although to my understanding, that only identifies DJI related products. So it wouldn't help if they're using something else or a custom made drone. Makes you think too, with all that recent remote ID stuff and with that video that DJI released, are people less inclined to use a DJI product because of that? I know one of the debates are the stuff that they propose with the smartphone ID and all that is not because they want to, but because they made them do it. Whereas to my understanding, it sounds like they were going to do it anyways, kind of like their geofence. Although with stories like this, it makes you wonder if stuff like that are going to be more prevalent around various places. This one says, drones fly illegally and crash at the Golden Gate Bridge and hunt for photos. The photos are breathtaking. The Golden Gate Bridge is seen from above, its sweeping lines foreshortened. Two rows of cables, so imposing from the ground, look like orange pieces of string. Some shots almost touch one of the bridge's towers as tiny cars zip down below. The photos are taken by drones, the small camera-equipped unmanned aircraft that can get closer to landmarks than helicopters. The images that thousands of likes on Instagrams, dozens of drone videos also rack up views on YouTube. And I guess according to them, most of them were, quote, illegal, I guess. It says, in 2014, the National Park Service forbade unmanned aircraft from taking off in national parks around the country to protect people and wildlife unless a special permit is obtained. This includes the 82,027-acre Golden Gate National Recreational Area, which surrounds the Golden Gate Bridge. A year later, drones prohibited signs were installed around the bridge. The Federal Aviation Administration hasn't designated the airspace above the bridge as a no-fly zone, but it generally prohibits flying over moving vehicles. So you can see the map basically of the zones and stuff, and of course I guess with the article they're saying how it's dangerous to fly drones in general because of things can happen. It says that hasn't stopped enthusiasts who continue to fly and share aerial photos on social media. Not all flights go smoothly. Since late 2014, 5 drones have crashed on the bridge's roadway. Most recently, 2 in 2018, according to the Golden Gate Bridge Highway and Transportation District, which manages the bridge. A 6th drone crashed into one of the towers below the roadway. And they were kind of expressing how it was a miracle no one was actually hurt from the crashes, like it didn't hit anyone like a pedestrian. It says security videos of one of the crashes described by Mulligan show 2 young women standing on the Marine County side of the bridge. They fly a drone towards the cell tower, but it loses its signal. Drones typically use GPS to navigate and quickly falls from the sky and crashes into a northbound traffic lane. We're not trying to stifle creativity, Mulligan said. We're concerned with all aspects of safety. So many points to think about here. I guess the first thing I was wondering was just based on the map, they say it's a no drone zone in those parks, so to speak, but they said the airspace isn't a no-fly from the FAA. So would it be true there too, based on this map, where it's technically someone took a boat around that bridge area and then launched a drone, that would be okay? Again, be safe and all that, but whenever people say immediately things like animals and protecting people, whether it be things like noise or whatever, I just want to see consistency. If you say that's bad, then anything else that makes that type of noise around the area and all that should be, quote, I guess, banned as well, in my opinion. Otherwise, it just comes down to you just don't like this stuff. And it makes me think too, at that point, they mentioned how people can just get a permit, for example, if they want to fly around the national park. I know a lot of places like here in Canada for the national parks, I've read a lot of people who tried to actually get permission in those places, and immediately, I guess, their response is, nope, we just don't allow drones. Like, they don't even actually cooperate with people. Like, in my opinion, that is just as worse when people are in that position to actually coordinate all this stuff and they basically are too, I guess, stubborn or whatever to actually work with people who want to capture, let's just say here, videos with the drone in a very simple and safe way. And in my opinion, stuff like that aren't actually highlighted enough as well. I still have all that communication stuff with Transport Canada actually, which would be kind of related as well. I mean, people in that position should be, I guess, held accountable too, if they're being, I guess, uncooperative in working with people in that way. In relation to things like aviation safety and all that too, I guess I was reading this about that Kobe Bryant crash incident with the helicopter and all that. And apparently they had the funeral, and here it says, I guess his wife, Vanessa Bryant, files wrongful death suit against helicopter operator in Kobe Bryant crash. As mourners gathered at Staples Center on Monday for a memorial service to celebrate the lives of Kobe and Gianna Bryant, attorney for Vanessa Bryant filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the company that operated the helicopter that crashed last month, killing her husband, daughter, and 7 others. The complaint in Los Angeles County Superior Court against Island Express Helicopters and Island Express Holding alleges that pilot Ara Zabayan, who also died in the crash in Calabasas, failed to use ordinary care in piloting the subject aircraft and was negligent. The 27-count complaint, which also names Zabayan's estate as defendant, seeks unspecified compensatory punitive damages. I'm actually curious, did they ever actually officially solve what happened besides the fact that it was foggy and all that? Because he even says, ultimately, a preliminary report from the National Transport Safety Board found no engine or mechanical failures. So it makes you wonder what happened. But at the same time, in this case, wouldn't actually, with the air traffic and stuff, be held liable as well, since they gave them the permission to go for it, so to speak? Or no, would it be completely separate, like it's all pilot error, whatever happened, like I still don't even know. But it just goes to show you in terms of things like air and safety and all that, I mean, sometimes it's going to be inevitable, it's going to happen. There's not necessarily a reason to stop, I guess, like the tech in general. Because ironically too, if all that remote ID and stuff goes through, you're probably going to eventually see like a crash, like just with a drone or something like that, be unfortunately like fatal under like these regulations and all that, which is a little ironic if you think about it. These cases are unfortunate too, because it's one of those nobody wins in any way in these situations. That's one itchy squirrel. Alright, see you guys later.